Good afternoon to one and all. Yesterday we were discussing about the basics of business environment related to that is nature, meaning definitions, and also the scope and importance of the business environment and objectives. It means economic objectives, social objectives, and also global objectives. We were discussed in the previous classes. And another thing is and global objectives and the types of the business. Yesterday we were started and we were discussing about the structure of a business environment. In the structure of a business environment, that is having a two environmental factors, that is internal environmental and external environment. Again, that is in the internal environment, there are already known value system, vision, objectives, and management structure and nature, internal power relationship, human resources like this. Then we are already discussed about the internal factors or internal environment, and come to the point of micro environment. In the micro environment, the macro environment again, the external environment classified into two, that is micro and as well as the macro. We already discussed about micro and the environmental related to micro environment, the environment which is close to business affects the capacity to work in a micro. It means within the companies, it consists of suppliers, customers, competitors, publics, and also market intermediaries. We should know about the related to suppliers, customers, and competitors, and our publics and market intermediaries. Related to this, the suppliers, they are the persons. They are the person who supply raw materials. As we know about this, for the manufacturing of goods and services, we require purchasing of raw materials. That should be required to in each and every industries. Required components of the company. They must be reliable and must be have multiple suppliers. It means so many times as the suppliers and they were not regularly providing raw materials. In some circumstances, they would become sick. In that circumstances, we need multiple suppliers. Yesterday we were discussed about this. And customers, customers are regarded as the king of the market. As we know about, without the customers, there is no matter of producing of a goods and services. Without the customers, they can't selling of a goods and services. In that circumstances, the customers is become a king. Success of every business depends upon the levels of their customer satisfactions. When we are satisfied the fully the customers, we are getting a more sales volume, and when we more sales volume is increased, we are getting a more rate of returns. It means the profit of the particular selling of goods and services. The types of customers for the producing of goods and services, that are wholesaler, wholesaler and retailer, industries, government, other institutions. Here, the foreigners also, the then market intermediaries. The market intermediaries, he's a micro environmental and company number of marketing intermediaries. That is, the firms yet the companies are promoting and selling of and distribution of goods to the ultimate buyers or final buyers. In that circumstances, we need a middleman, marketing agencies, financial intermediaries, and physical intermediaries. They're all required for the market intermediaries and the competitors. Without the competitor, there is no matter of what producing of goods and services. Competitors play a vital role. It means here the business enterprises business has to adjust various business activities according to behavior of the competitors when they are related to the quality of the products or the pricing of the products or any other changes they should be need that should be taken under the place of the competitors. Whether the liberalizing the policies on the basis of the what competitors, whether the company they want to restructure when they are knowing about the restructuring of a companies, when they are into come to the market, when they are facing the competitors in that circumstances, they know very well about this. Then public, any group who has actual interest in the business enterprises in terms as a public, that is a media and the local public, they are maybe user or non-users of the products. It means here the media, as we know about this, a group of the people that is actually those who are want to ultimate users. They are also and media public. The as we know about this, without the media we can't advertise the products. In those circumstances, the media public can seriously affect any business. These can be used to public useful information, but sometimes the media public can tarnish the image of the company also, whether the company is getting a very good goodwill or the bad image is also come from the medias. Environmental pollution is an issue often taken up by a number of local publics. This is also one of the most important thing. But fruitful cooperation between the business and the local public may establish mutual benefits of the company and the local community like this. Then financiaries. Who is a financiaries? Another important micro environment factors is financiers of the company. Besides the financing capabilities, their policies and strategies, attitudes, ability to provide non-financial assistance are very important. Here, related to including attitudes, it means one who is having a capacity to bear the risk for the repayable of whatever they have taken a loan, loanable amount are from the financial different financiaries. That is indicates that the capacity of the businessman or those who are seeking a finance from the different financial institutions. Then come to the point of macro environment. The macro environment is also known as a general environment. Here, the and remote environment, macro factors are generally more uncontrollable than the micro environment factors, as we are already discussed, which can be controlled. It means in the related to micro environment we can control, but comparing to macro factors are more uncontrollable. When the macro factors become uncontrollable, the success of the company depends upon the adaptability of the environment. The environment is also important in the macro level. In the macro environment, that includes the economic environment, the social environment, and demographic and cultural and political, legal, technological, and physical environment. In the economic environment, it is very complex. There is no matter of any easy dynamic in the nature that keeps the changing on with the change in the policies and political situations in each and every moment. As we know about this related to economic, the central government or any other government, when they need a financial policy should be changed, the amendment can be taken place on the basis of a political situation. It has three elements, that is economic conditions, economic policies, and economic system, and other economic factors. That is economic conditions. It means the business is cycle and growth of the economy are important factors defining the economic environment. That means it decides the size and the local and the domestic environment, market of the economic conditions. Then economic policy of the country. You know that we are already known about this. Who is affirming the policies? The government. The government decides the economic environment of a business through uh, budgets and industrial regulations and economic planning and import and export regulations. It means rules and regulations related to importing and exporting of goods and services. and business law related to what contract is made by the between the two or more peoples. In that circumstances, the business law is playing a vital role. And industrial policies related to industries, whether the liberalizing the policies or whatever the conditions is to be required to an industry that should be framed. Then economic system. Economic system is existing of a country is also affected to the business environment. The economic system of the country may be free enterprises and socialist or then mixed, communist or mixed. Like this, the economic system is also included under the economic conditions. Then political environment, political and government environment, it affects the different business units extensively components. It means political belief of the government. As we know about this, without the belief of the government we can't able to do political strength of the country. That is also most important things. Whatever the rules and regulations have to be framed by the political persons, then that should be relations with the other countries also. The political government relay from the central government with the other countries. The political situation is become strong. Then only they can maintain a good relationship like this related to political, the legislative and executive and the judiciary within the limits that should be taken in place, and also whether they in some circumstances they want to what maintaining of a very good name or a fame. And here, the defense military policies also is most important. Center-state relationship in the country. Then thinking opposition of a parties towards a business unit, that is also most important. What they are given suggestions related to this in that circumstances they meet. And a socio-cultural environment. The sociological influence exercised by the social and cultural factors, not with the control of the business, is known as a socio-cultural environment. These factors include the attitude of the people towards work and family system, religion, education, and marriage, etc. Like this, the people attitude towards work and health, the role of the family and marriages, religion and education. Ethical issues is also taken a place under the socio-cultural environment. Social responsibility of the business. It means nowadays one of the responsibilities bearing by the business, that is corporate social responsibility, is fixed by the government. And technological environment. As we know about this, the technology is the most important thing rather than any others. It means here, in order to survive in today's competitive world, the technology is the most important thing. It means the business has to adopt technological changes from time to time. Whenever they want to changing of rules and regulations related to or sorry, modernization of a technology that should be adopted by the each and every company. The each and every company they can't easily adopt the new technologies because of they want to invest a huge amount of the money for the technological changes. In that circumstances, that is also a technological environment is also affected in the macro level. Then demographic environment. It is a study of perspective of a population. That is a size of the populations is one of the major thing in the demographic environment based on the population size and standard of living. Standard of living uh, standard of living is most important thing rather than the providing a services to the customers. Standard of living, that is based on the what they are earning the money that can, and growing growth rate and age and sex composition. Family size is also most important. Nowadays, the giant family, HF, Hindu undivided family, is becoming less. Income level, etc. Income level is also a most important thing in a macro level. Based on this, educational level and also the caste and religion is also maintaining of a demographic environment. And legal environment that indicates that whatever the rules and regulations are to be framed, the legal environment, flexibility and adaptability for law and other legal rules governing by the business. It may include the exact rules or decisions of the courts. Whatever the courts is decisions given in the based on the circumstances or based on the case studies that is required. And physical environment. The physical environment, it includes the location of the business and it operating. It also includes the climate and the topography as well as the surroundings from where the business gets the raw materials. Also, physical environment acts for the market for the output produced by the business. It means whether they take an example for the what clothes in the summer season, what we are using in the winter season, what we are using, and also whether they take an example as umbrella when we are using umbrellas more. Like these are all the physical environment. It means affected to the business. Then environmental scanning. What it means? Environmental scanning is also one of the what essential component of a global environmental analysis. Environmental scanning is monitoring, evaluating, and dissemination of information. It means controlling and evaluating in each and every moment. They should know the assess of each and every, and it's disseminating of information from the external and internal element to key people within the corporations, those who are related to what corporate used this tool to avoid strategic purposes to ensure its long-term health and sustainability of a business. Not only for the short-term purpose, this is a long-term purpose, more than the five to 15 years sustainability of the business that is environmental scanning. Environmental scanning can be defined as the study of the interpretation of the political environment, social and technological events, trends which influence a business. In an each and every moment, as we know about this, the political parties is to be taken a place, means framing a separate government, and also economic. It means related to finance and social society and the technology. Just I told you, whatever the technologies will be taken a place for the changes in the circumstances, even in the total market is to be entered. And methods and techniques of environmental planning, techniques for evaluating environmental scanning. Two phases, that is information gathering and evaluation. Information gathering and evaluation. Number one, verbal and written information. What is the meaning of verbal information? Verbal information includes the information obtained by direct talk with the people. It means face-to-face interactions by attending seminars, meetings, etc. And written information, as we know about this, written or uh, written or documentary information includes both published and unpublished materials. Whatever in the incidences is taken a place in the business, whatever they were maintaining in the form of a written, that is a document, that is treated as a documentary, that can be published or without a publishing information, that is the written information. Search and scanning. This is also most important. This is involved for searching of obtaining the required information. Without a searching, we can't able to get the information, and also scanning. This involves the what need many, identify the sources of information. That is most important. Where we are getting the information. Whether to take an example for this, if you want to write a paper, or if you want to write a project or any other things, you need info sources. Whether they take an example for the finance, it means when you want to purchasing of raw materials, you need to invest the money. Where you are getting the money, that is treated as a source. Sources of information is also playing a vital role, and manage timely availability of the required information under the what searching and scanning. A number of organizations have clipping the services. with constantly scans newspapers and periodicals. That is the most important for the scanning. Then next thing is a spying. Even though even though it is not considered as a ethical, which one, spying. Spying is to get the information about the competitor. It's not uncommon. It is not a common. It is common. Related to what competitors, they need to finding out the informations or method guide. Then technology techniques. Another thing is forecasting. Forecasting. Forecasting done by the corporate planners or other staff, personally or consultations. This pertains to use the information gathered by the above three methods, picturing of a future scenario. It means the planners, those who are called as the top level managers, they want to take what steps for the forecasting of a future purpose. In that circumstances, they were need to mention the three methods for picturing of future scenario. Then come to the point of economic environment. Economic environment is refers to all the economic factors, that is economic factors that affect the commercial and consumer behavior. It means related to commercial, buying and selling of a goods and the services, consumer behavior at the time of a purchasing of a goods and services, the consumer how they acted or reacted for the purchasing of a goods, that is most important. The economic environment consisting of all the external factors in the immediate marketplace and the broader economy related to finance. The factors can be influence business, how it operates, how it's successful, it might become. When they are operating, how they become a success, it might become. The economic environment consists of different things for the different people. It means, for example, whether to take an example, business depending upon economic environment for all needed inputs. It also depends on the economic environment to sell the finished goods. Naturally, the dependence of the business on an economic environment is a total, and it is not supporting because it is rightly said business is one unit of the total economy. Business is a one unit of a total economy. Like this, for a what a economic environment for a TV channel. On the other hand, the growth of a internet advertising matters great deal. And whether they take an example for the farmers they want to know about the weather and the price of the fertilizers are important factors. Like these, the TV channels is also required. Internet advertising matters and great deal, but not the weather. By the weather is not required for an what TV channels. Internet advertising matters to a TV station because the internet competes for the advertising business. For a farmer, however, advertising media is not an important. Yeah, as we know about this, economic factors. What are the economic factors we should know about this? The following are the major macro and microeconomic factors which have considerable influence on the business. There are a growth strategy. The growth strategy is the most important thing for the business. It means the business what And so sorry for the inconvenience. Here there is some technical issues for that purpose. I delayed for the connections, poor connections. Sorry for that. Uh, just we are discussing about the economic factors. So the following are the which are considerable influence on a business. That is growth strategy, economic system, economic planning, then industry, agriculture, and infrastructure related to infrastructure. Just I told you. Then financial and physical sectors, removal of the regional imbalances. Yeah, we know about this. Price and distribution controls, economic reforms, human development, per capita and national incomes. Per capita means you, as we know about this. Uh, is one individual person what they are earning the money that is treated as a per capita and the national income as we know about this. Then come to the point of Niti Ayog. What is the meaning of Niti Ayog? We should know about this before the 12th plan is fully implemented. That is a major organize has taken a place. A new government uh, assumed the power at the center. In that circumstances, replacing a decade old OPA government. In that circumstances, the new NDA government abolished the planning commission, leaving the 50 years old planning system totally shattered. The system planning is not clear in that circumstances. The planning commission, the India government has constituted a Niti Ayog in the replacement of what? Replacement of a planning commission. The Niti Ayog is taken a place. And Niti Ayog is established in the year of the 2015. In these circumstances, Niti Ayog, National Institute for Transforming India, the government listed seven principles for the new bodies. That is, the prioritizing the services, whatever the services is provided, we given a priority and upliftment of a poor people. It means those who are called as a below poverty line that should be uplifted, and marginal inclusion of vulnerable and marginalized sections, and then redressing identity-based inequalities, integrating villages into development process, harassing Indians' democratic dividend through education, and skilling people participation in the development process. But the nurturing and open and accountable style of a governance, sustainability at the core of a planning and development process. In these ways, the government released an e-book that ebook that spells out the structure and functioning of Niti Ayog, National Institute for Transforming India. This is a replacement of what? Planning the commission. They were all taken a what steps for the services and the poor, and in future, whatever they want to planning of country in that circumstances, Niti Ayog is taken a place. Uh, Then claims and counter. There have been claims and counter claims about the outcome. Official agencies that huge investments produced positive results, but their claims are not acceptable to the economists, intellectuals, and politicians who do not see eye to eye with the government agencies. In that circumstances, the claims and counterclaims, that is, on the achievement of the claims related to industry, agriculture, and infrastructure, and also the foreign trade, growth rate, and control of the inflation and the standard of living of the people. Based on this, the ascertain the significant process has to be made on these many more during the last 5 decades economical planning. The development is taken a place in an Indian economy that is robust, that is huge investment have to be proposed in the near future. India will invest 3,000, 3,20,600 crores in on infrastructure. Of this, 43% will go for the power sector, and 20% are to the roads, and reset the other sectors in the economy with a consequent multiplier effect. And also the competitiveness, that is also most important thing. Competitiveness of the Indian economy is high, rather than the country being ranked 34th in the IMD's World Competitiveness Report in the year of 2004, up from 15th, 50 in the 2003. Additionally, in terms of business efficiency, India ranked has moved from 51 to 22 in the terms of economic performance, from 22 to 12. The dismantling of an industrial licensing system. It means, as we know about this, liberalizing the policies is also taken a place of, in these circumstances. Like this, the claims. Claims is taken a place, and counterclaims. What it means? Equally important. Uh, Whatever we discuss the claims, the counter claims is also important. The counter claims are equally enforceable. It is allied that is are not well with our industry sector. This sector is facing too many problems. As we know about this, it means, as we decided, we describe later, many MSMEs. MSMEs sector units are facing the threat of the closures, whether it's related to the water finance or anything else. That should be become a disclosure. In that circumstances, counterclaims is to be taken a place. About the agriculture, as we are discussed, related to agriculture, they should be depending upon the monsoon. It is alleged that phenomenal increases of a production of a goods, food grains. It's not only the rice and wheat, the course of cereals, and the consumed by vast majority of the villages have not registered impressively increase in the production. Besides, agriculture is highly dependent on the monsoon, and failure of which disrupts not only agriculture but all the entire economy. When they are growing a crops, they were earning some amount of money from the selling of food grains, and also individual or a per capital is increased. But otherwise, there is no matter of a per capital income and also the national income, because of 80% of the or 70% of the what peoples are dependent to the agriculture in our country. Then next come to the point of agenda for future. What's the meaning of agenda? As we know about this, in each and every moment we were discussing about the agenda. Whatever we want to take in a whatever we want to take any steps in the future related to this, we were to preparing of an agenda. In a recent past, several promises has to be made by the several aspirations around. For example, people want our society to be free from the black money. As we are know about this, black money means whatever illegally maintaining of money that is treated as a black money, and corruption. How meet the people expectations, that is also a major agenda for the future. How to restore GDP growth, development product, gross domestic product growth rate is 8 to 9% immediately, and to be double digit in the course of a time. How to quicken the pace of industrial growth, which has to be a beating of now. How to set up a public investment on infrastructure, how to generate jobs to millions of skilled people coming out of the colleges and universities in every year. As we know about this, so many people completed the graduations and masters, and even though whatever the high qualifications, in the circumstances where they are not getting the jobs in our country, they are moving to other countries. In that circumstances, and how to improve the agricultural sector. It means new technology should be adapted, and how to channelize the huge budget allocation to social sectors to reach the end users, and to how to boost the export from 1.6% to the world export at least 5%. That is also agenda for the future. How to streamline the labor laws to make the pro-growth and anti-growth attitude now. How to make a public sector banks financially viable. That is also one of the agenda. And then come to the point of Make in India. Make in India in the September 2014 is taken in place. The government of India is announced the ambitions and a well-intended project called Make in India. It comprises of following aspects, that is boost to manufacturing sector to big share of the industrial sector in the GDP from 15.76% to 25% by 2024 to 25. This is an Make in India. Improve the national Indians ranking from 148 among 189 economies to 50 in the world sees using doing business index in 3 years. 25 key sectors have been identified, including automobiles, chemicals, IT sector, pharmaceuticals, textiles, aviations, leather, tourism, and railways. These sectors should act as a nuclear for the economic development, and skill and job for the youth, skills and job for the youth. That is also most, and make India for the manufacturing hub, doing away with fashionable law and rules and regulations. Development of smart cities. As we know about this, nowadays, it is taken a place of from the what BJP government smart cities concept. Disinvestment of a public sector enterprises. In these ways, the Make in India is taken a place in our country. What is liberalization? Liberalization is also one of the most important thing. It means in the world, economies are changing rapidly, and most countries of the world, including developing countries and the countries of Eastern European, are gearing up to the challenging of completing in the increasingly integrated, highly global marketplace. And here, facilitating the market process, determining its curves and direction, it favors to the competitive market solution to the market issues and reduce the role for the state in the economic management. The liberalization proclaimed freedom of trade and investment creations, free trade areas, elimination of government controls on allocation of resources in the domestic economy, and progressive removal of restrictions. It means conditions, external trade and payments. That is also most important. What we are exporting of goods and services, whether the purchasing or selling, in that circumstances we need to pay, and also they receive the money from the outside. That is also most important related to the policy matters in our country. Expansion of foreign investments, foreign direct investments, and loans and rapid technologies progress. What type of the loans and how much loans should be required, based on that we should need to take steps. And in these ways, the liberalization is taken a place in our country. It means a shift from the state market to a global market, facets of liberalization, and new economic policies is taken a place under the liberalizations. It means rules and regulations related to the what policies. It means economic policies. In these ways, the liberalization is one of the important thing. Next, come to the point of globalization. What's the meaning of globalization? The world economy has been emerging as a global or a transnational economy. A global economy is one of the it transacts in the national borders unhindered by the artificial restrictions like the government restrictions on trade and factors movements. It means opening of the economy for the world market by attaining international competitiveness, not only the local or national level, the international level. It offers both challenges and opportunities. It means a threat and opportunities to developing countries that is affected. The world economy has been emerging as a global transactional economy. A global economy is a one which is transcended national borders, unhindered by the artificial restrictions like government restrictions and trade factors movements. Globalization, a process of development of the world into a single integrated economic unit. The important characteristics of globalizations are, before that we want to know the stages of a globalization. First, this is having a four stages, fifth stages. I will give a brief information regarding of five stages of globalization. First stage is a arm's length services activity. In the second stage, the company takes over these activities its own, and the next stage is a domestic-based company begins to carry out its own manufacturing, marketing, and fourth stage is mm, company moves to full insider positions in this market, supported by a complete business system, including research and development. Without the research and development, they can't able to, and engineering. The stage calls for the managers and replicating the new environment. And the fifth stage, the economy moves towards a generally global mode of operations. Factors facilitating globalizations. You know about the factors are human resources, wide based and growing entrepreneurship, growing domestic market, okay, and expanding markets and transactionals of world economy. The importance characteristics of a globalizations, that is, number one, rapid growth in international financial transactions. When we are the companies entering the global level, then automatically the financial services, sorry, buying and selling services is increased. When they are increasing, the financial transactions is also increased in the international level. Fast growth in the trade, yes, of course. In the when the comparing of a local and national level, when they are entering to international level, fast growth of trade is taken a place in the multinational corporations, and increase in the foreign direct investment. Just I told you, FDI is also taken a place in the case of a globalization. The emergence of a global markets is also, then diffusion of a technologies and ideas through rapid extension of a globalization. Transportation and communication system. When the comparing of one country to another country, they are having their own technologies, whether it's related to the farmers or industries or any other things related to business. And ideas is also taken a place that should be taken a rapid extension. It means there is no time. They were taken at their own time. It means taken a sudden steps for the implementing, and also transportation is also required, and communication system. Without the communication, they can't be able to complete all the transactions related to this. In that circumstances, the globalization is the most important thing for the taken steps for the future. And come to the point of stages of a globalization, just I told you. Then come to the point of industrial policies. What's the meaning of industrial policies? We were known about in the previous classes what you have studied in a basic degree. In that circumstances, industrial policy is probably the most important document. It's a document which indicates that relationship between the government and the business. It means through the rules and regulations. The document is helpful to planners and administration in the government. And as much as it give a clear guidelines for promoting and regulating industry It is equally helpful to the industrialist and other deciding areas of priorities. Like that, the industrial policies is playing a crucial role in the water. Industrial policies is playing a crucial role, and the factors facilitating globalization under industrial policies, that is human resources, wide-based growing entrepreneurship, growing domestic market, and growing niche market and expanding markets. Rationale of industrial policy, it means correct imbalance in the development of industries. uh, as we know about this, there is some differences that should be maintained. That is treated as an imbalance that should be balanced by the our industrial policies, industries, and help to bring about the desirable balance and diversification in them, and direct the flow of scarce resources in the most desirable areas of investment in accordance with the national priorities, then prevent the wasteful use of scarce resources and ensure their conservation of judicious utilizations. Whatever the resources is available in our country, that should be is utilized by the industries, the without the wasting of other resources. Empower the government to regulate the establishment and expansion of private industries in accordance with the plan. Sorry for this. Planned objectives. With the planning objectives, the government can be regulated and expansion given an opportunity for the private industries. Related to industries, the policy resolutions in the year of 1948, the government of India announced its first industrial policy on April 6th, 1948. The government of India, the industrial policies was designed to achieve the following objectives. It means each and every regulations or a set of rules and regulations that should be adopted for the purpose of the what achieving the objectives, the establishment of a social orders wherein justice and equality of opportunities shall be secured to all the people. That is one of the objectives of the industrial resolution in the year of 1948. The promotion of a standard of living of the people exploiting resources, and the increasing in production both and at agriculture and the industries. They are offering opportunities for employment that should be created. The need for the careful planning and integrated of efforts, the determination of a state responsibility and enterprise in industrialization, and growing the industries. The regulations of the private enterprises related to private sector industries, they were preparing a separate act or a set of rules and regulations. That is also industrial policy resolutions in the year of 1956. Before that, I want to give some important things, whatever we discussed from the earlier to till. Related to first block, what we are discussing, which you may expect the questions. It means in the first chapter or in the first block, you may expect the questions like this, or define business, or define business environment, and explain the nature and scope of the business environment like this, and also describe the business and community stakeholders like this, and come to the point of a second unit. There is a what types of a business environment related to this. You may get the questions in your examination point of view. That is, uh, related to define a business environment, given briefly explaining about the internal environment and external environment, or give an account of external environment. Like this, you can expect the questions, and also you may expect the questions in your examination point of view. List out the internal factors influencing the business and discuss the techniques of environmental scanning. Environmental scanning. This is also an important thing in your examination point of view. Economic environment. Just I told you. Define economic environment. Explain the nature and the scope of the economic environment or economic factors like this. Uh, le- Give an account of Niti Ayog. You may expect the questions Niti Ayog and claims and counters also, and agenda for future. You should know about this. These are all the things you should be important in your examination point of view. And liberalization and globalization. What's the meaning of liberalization? We should know about this, and related to this, you may expect the questions. The new economic policies, new against criticisms and reforms, and globalization. What are the consequences of globalization for the India? You may expect the questions related to this, and then the industrial relations, industrial regulations. Just I told you, they related to this. Uh, it means industrial policy resolutions. Give an account of industrial policy resolution in the year of 1956. Give an account. You may expect the questions. And industrial policy regulations of 1991. Related to this, you may expect the questions. It is class. Like this, in your examination point of view, you should thorough. Not only for the referencing of our study materials, you should refer your own textbooks also. This is most important in your examination point of view. And another thing is, I want to tell you, go through the question paper and what are the what is the scheme of the question paper. You should know about this, and based on that, you should prepare yourself. And one thing I want to tell you, read carefully, and whether if you have any doubts related to this, you should directly contact over phone to each and every teachers available in our department.